Hello, my friends! Welcome back to English Unleashed. I'm Tom.
And I'm Becky.
Today, we want to teach you something important. How to talk about yourself in English.
This is something you need every day when you meet new people, make friends, or start a job. When you travel, people always ask about you. They want to know your name, where you're from, and what you do. These are basic but very important. In this episode, we'll teach you simple phrases and patterns.
You can shadow us, listen, and then say the words out loud. That's how you make the language part of you.
Let's start with the very first step, your name. This is the basic key to communication.
This is very easy. There are a few very common and useful patterns.
The first one is, my name is Tom. Okay, my name is Tom. The second one is, I am Tom. Okay, so both are correct. My name's Tom, or I'm Tom. Both are correct. Both are natural. You can also add more detail if you want. For example, my full name is Thomas, but people call me Tom.
Officially, on my passport it says Thomas, but in daily life, everyone calls me Tom.
This phrase, people call me something, is very useful when you have a nickname or a short version of your name.
It makes the introduction more personal. You can use this pattern in many situations.
Here is a little cultural tip. In English-speaking countries, people usually use short names very quickly.
So don't be surprised if someone shortens your name after only meeting you once. It's not rude.
It's not impolite. It's usually a sign of friendliness.
All right. After you say your name, the next very common question is, where are you from? People ask this almost everywhere in the world. It's a friendly way to start a conversation. It helps people understand you better. The basic and most useful pattern is, I'm from.
I'm Tuoltine.
I'm from Vietnam. When I meet people, I usually say I'm from the US, but I live in London.
You can make your answer stronger by adding a city and a country together.
So the pattern is, I'm from Cairo, it's in Egypt. Or I'm from Tokyo, it's in Japan. That way, if the person doesn't know your city, they still understand your country.
Exactly. Here are some more examples. I'm from Rio de Janeiro. It's in Brazil.
I'm from Nairobi. It's in Kenya. I'm from Toronto. It's in Canada.
And if you want to be very clear, you can even add the origin. For example, I'm from Munich.
It's in the south of Germany. Another very useful pattern is, I was born in somewhere, but I live in somewhere. This is great when your story is a little different. For example, I was born in Spain, but I live in Mexico now.
Or, I was born in Thailand, but I live in Dubai. That shows a part of my life story.
You can also say something like, I was born in London, and I still live in London today.
All right, let's move on to another very common topic. Family. This always comes up in small talk.
People are often curious about your family background. A very common question is, do you have brothers or sisters?
Sometimes they use the word siblings. Siblings means brothers and sisters. So they ask, do you have brothers or sisters? And it's a good idea to have a clear answer ready. The simplest way to answer is, yes, I have, or No, I don't have any brothers or sisters.
Or, I don't have any siblings. For example, I have one brother, or I have two sisters. In my case, I usually say, yeah, I have an older sister. That one small word, older, adds more detail.
So if you want to give a little more information, you can use older or younger. For example, I have 2 younger sisters, or I have 1 older brother. It makes your answer richer.
And if you don't have brothers or sisters, that's okay too. There is a special phrase for this.
I am an only child. That means you don't have siblings. Sometimes people want to know how many brothers or sisters you have in total. They might ask, how many brothers and sisters do you have? Here you can give a number. Mix brothers and sisters if you like. For example, I have 1 brother and 2 sisters. Or, I have 3 sisters. And if you don't have any, you can just say, I don't have siblings.
If you want to go a little deeper, you can talk about your position in the family.
People may ask, are you the oldest or are you the youngest? I usually say, I am the oldest child. And I usually say, I am the middle child. That means I'm not the oldest.
And if you are the last born, you can say, I am the youngest.
All right, now let's talk about another very important topic: work and study.
This is something people ask about all the time when you meet someone new. One of the first questions is, what do you do?
What do you do? Means, what is your job? What is your daily work? It doesn't mean, what are you doing right now? That's a very common mistake for learners. But in small talk, what do you do is always about your job or studies.
So if you have a job, the simple answer is, I am a, and then your job, for example.
I'm a teacher. I'm an engineer. I'm a nurse. I'm a doctor.
When I talk about myself, I often say, I am a language teacher. I work with young learners and adults.
That gives both my job title and a little detail about what I actually do. I help learners learn English.
In a natural way. Again, it's short, but it gives a little extra information. If you want to make your answer more interesting, you can add where you work.
For example, I'm a teacher. I work in a secondary school. Or, I'm a doctor. I work in a hospital.
Or you can describe the type of work you do.
I'm a driver. I drive a taxi.
I'm a cook. I work in an Italian restaurant.
Just adding one short detail makes your answer more personal and easier for the listener to understand.
What if you don't have a job at the moment? People may still ask, what do you do?
In that case, you can say, I am looking for a job right now, or I am between jobs.
That's a polite way to say you don't have a job at the moment.
Some people might say, I'm a homemaker, or I stay at home with my children. These are also clear and polite answers.
Now, if you are a student, the answer is a little different. You can say, I'm a student, and then add your subject.
I study English. I study engineering. You can also add the name of your school or university.
I study at Oxford University. Or, I study at the local high school. Sometimes people ask, what are you studying? And then you can answer.
And if you've finished studying, you can say, I studied English. I studied law at university. That shows your background. Of course, some people both study and work at the same time. You can say, I study business and I also work in a shop. Or, I'm a student, but I have a part-time job in a cafe. That's very common, and it's a good way to give a fuller picture of your life.
People often find it interesting when you combine both. When you talk about both. Now, some people like to describe themselves in terms of energy.
For example, I am active or I am relaxed. These words tell others about your lifestyle.
And your way of being. Or you can say, I'm serious. That means you take things carefully.
Or the opposite. I'm easygoing. That means you are relaxed and not stressed.
I often say, I'm positive. That means I try to see the good in situations.
And sometimes I say, I'm open-minded. That means I like to listen to new ideas. How do people ask about your personality? The most common question is, what are you like? This question confuses some learners because it doesn't mean, what do you like? It means, what is your personality? So if someone asks, what are you like? You can answer, I'm friendly and patient, or I'm shy but curious. And I can think of another question. How would you describe yourself? This is often asked in job interviews. In that case, you can give 2 or 3 positive qualities, like, I'm hardworking, creative, and reliable. And sometimes people just ask, are you shy or are you outgoing? Then you can answer, yeah, I'm shy, or no, I'm quite outgoing. These simple adjectives are very powerful.
You don't need big, complicated words. Just 1 or 2 can give a clear picture of your character, your personality. We have shared a lot today. We talked about how to introduce yourself, where you're from, your age, and your family.
Your job or studies, and your personality. All the basic things for talking about yourself in English. With just a few simple patterns, you can give people a clear picture of who you are. And remember, you don't need long, difficult sentences. Short, simple sentences are enough. Just say them with confidence. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. So try using these sentences today. Maybe with a friend, maybe in class, or even just in the mirror. We hope this episode gives you the confidence to talk about yourself in English, anytime, anywhere.
Thank you so much, my friends, for spending this time with us. And remember, practice a little every day.
Until next time, keep learning and keep believing in yourself. Bye for now.